Oh, dang, it took a while. Okay, hey everybody, what's going on? Long time no see, ladies and gentlemen. Had to went off and got upgraded. Got the new. Well, I say new. It's been out for a while, but we can all thank the market for making them almost freaking unobtainable. But um, finally went ahead and upgraded to the GTX 1080 from my 970, and so far I'm pretty impressed. I have to say I'm actually really impressed with the performance. I mean, it's not anything mind blowing. Let's see, 1.1. I mean, of course, nothing mind blowing on the more CPU based sims, but you can definitely notice a change in the fluidity, and I mean everything else just blows out of the water. So very impressed with it. But on to the stream. So we're in New Orleans, and I'm gonna make a 2-leg trip from Dallas, and then on to Memphis, Tennessee. That's probably notifications. Alright, let's see. And we'll talk a little more about it when we get out of here. Okay. Negative 35. We'll call it slick. Okay. 122, 128, 136. Just throwing in our takeoff speeds there, and we can make that speed car go away. And I just gotta get myself situated with this old road again. It's been a while for sure. Okay, that's set for now. So I can get some AC going. It's not even 12 yet, and it's already 29 Celsius, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna need that on. Okay, so...
Hello?
I don't want to talk to you right now. I know what they're complaining about is the heat, but there's not a whole lot I can do. At least not just yet. Alright, so 17. I knew it. So of course we'll have to go. Looks like we'll be shooting the downwind in DFW for 17, right? So we'll fly the Bree 1. And then, of course, probably listen to vectors for the downwind for 1717. Okay. All right. Let's see. And 29. That's right. And we'll go direct. Getting in and out of New Orleans is fairly, as far as routing, then it's usually not too terribly involved. It's just getting into Dallas that sometimes can be a bit aggravating. 15.4, it's set. Okay. Alright, got our takeoff computer set there. Pressurization 3002, I think was in Dallas. Alright, let's go ahead and disconnect the external power.
Yes, sir. You're clear to disconnect. Thanks.
That's it, that's it. Alright. Okay, so fuel pumps on. Beacon on. So I can get over, there we go. Hydraulic pumps on. Everything else looks good. I think at this point we can go ahead and push back. Let me check my doors, make sure everything else is closed. Yeah, that's closed. Alright. So let's get the gate. And push back departure, American. And let's see where we're facing. Why GSX does this, I have no idea. No earthly idea. I'm assuming to the left. I was kind of. This terminal's kind of odd, but I'll make it work regardless. Oh man. Oh, good grief, GSX. So I updated my firmware for my headset, and for some reason
Hello?
Hi. It's all hot and stuffy back here. Can you give me
yeah,
some
there's nothing I can do about that.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Absolutely nothing. I mean, we could bump that up, but yeah. Oh, is that right for me? Yeah, there we go. So, there we Make sure we're clear on the right. And ignition. Right engine. %. Go. Should get that generator. There we go. Online. Close that start valve. Verify we're clearing the last far as we can tell. Start the left engine. Alright, almost got that 23%. And watch the EGT. Alright, set brakes. Close that start valve. Turn off the ignition. APU power off. And we can go ahead and close these bleed air valves here. So we'll close both of those. Get that air conditioning back going. It's really not going to cool off until we get out of here, of course. So there, start pop off. Windshield, anti-ice. Hold off on that for right now. Go ahead and turn it on. Okay, anti-skid yaw damper on. Alright, so this point we'll just get everything configured for takeoff while we're getting the runway clearance, and then we'll get out of here. 151, yes. Press the turbo buttons. Arm nav mode. VNav mode. Looks like everything's all set and cool. Now we're of course we're so light right now until she started moving right away. But normally what I'll do, I'll go ahead and give her a little bump. And just bring her to idle. And case shooting. And the guys can give you from her view over from the outside.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could please have your attention to review some important safety information. In preparation for departure, be certain that your seatbelt is straight up, your tray table is stowed, and that your carry-on items are placed completely under the seat in front of you or in an overhead bin. For everyone's safety, regulations require compliance with all lighted signs, placards, and crew member instructions. To fasten your seatbelt, place the metal fitting into the buckle and adjust the strap so it fits lower tight across your hips. To release, lift the faceplate of the buckle. Please read the safety instruction part of the seat buckle in front of you. It explains the safety features of this aircraft as well as the location and operation seat cushion serves as an approved flotation device. To remove it, pull up and take it with you to the nearest suitable exit. After exiting the aircraft, place your arms through the straps and mount the cushion to your chest. There are 8 emergency exits aboard the aircraft. 2-door exits at the front of the cabin, 4 overwing exits, 1-door exit and 1 tailplane exit at the rear of the cabin. Take a moment to locate your nearest exit, keeping in mind that it may be behind you. If there is a loss of electrical power, low-level emergency lights will illuminate. All exits are indicated by lighted exit signs and by floor-level lighting. In case of a loss of cabin pressure, oxygen mask will be released from overhead. To start the flow of oxygen, reach up and pull the mask towards you, fully extending the plastic tubing. Place the mask over your nose and mouth and slip the elastic band over your head. Pull the tab on either side of the mask to tighten. The plastic bag does not need to inflate when oxygen is flowing. Be sure to secure your mask first before assisting others. As a reminder, smoking is not permitted in any area of the aircraft at any time. Tampering, disabling, or destroying a laboratory smoke detector is prohibited by law. On behalf of the flight crew, welcome aboard. We hope you enjoy your flight. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're number 1 for takeoff. Flight attendants, please be seated.
Some nice brisk jog down the taxiway. Like, this is perfect taxiing speed. It's not just ridiculously slow. I'm not burning a whole lot of fuel either, which is nice, especially older aircraft. It's just this with those extremely thirsty Pratt & Whitneys. It's nice to save a little bit of fuel when you can. Overshoot quite a bit to account for the length. Okay, make a quick adjustment here. Alright, so mission. This auto brake is extremely finicky. Alright. Set. Radar on. Okay. Alright, take off. On. Good grief.
80 knots, cross check. V1. Rotate. Positive rate.
Yep.
Gear up, lights out.
Alright, go ahead and get that runway. Going the heading there. VNAV. We'll start getting configured up for a climb. Alright, go ahead and start retracting flaps past our flaps retraction speed. And start walking that speed up. And we can go ahead and flat retract the slats right there.
Slats retracted.
Set my heading bug. Actually, that still needs you down. And amongst all this chaos, we really need to go ahead and turn our aux and trans pump off. I'm gonna leave it down for right now. Once we get to 10,000, I'll go ahead and turn on our autopilot and turn those off at that time. Alrighty, let's see, about 8,000 feet. Let's see. you can definitely definitely tell the climb performance is taking a hit. Like right now, we're at like 9,000 feet and 23 degrees Celsius, and it's definitely taking a hit on these warm, humid days down here in the south. All right, let's go ahead now. We'll do a direct to PNUTS. And we're passing 10,000 feet. Go ahead and bring up our landing lights. There, get her trimmed out. Alright, now give her to auto. And it looks like it's pretty smooth out, so we'll turn off those fast and seatbelt signs. Dive over here since we're riding solo and turn off our trans and aux pump and bring our engine driven hydraulic pumps to off. Or low, sorry. But I want to say, I mean, even with the hydraulic saw, with everything being cabled, we'll go ahead and turn those off. So of course we're going to get master caution. So right and left hydraulic pressure low. And we'll go ahead and take it from auto real quick. Even with the hydraulics being off, we still have perfect control of the airplane. I'm not going to say perfect. I'm pretty sure we would be feeling some mechanical forces. Now it is a little sluggish, but we do still have control of the airplane, and we could probably get turned around and land just fine. No issues. So. Map mode. Alright, everything looks good so far. Okay. So, yeah, the stream was almost going to go a completely different direction this morning. I say that because the F-18 for DCS released, what, a couple weeks ago, maybe, I think, and I don't play DCS much, but I was really excited about that aircraft because it's such a versatile military fighter. But the only problem is well, it's not really a problem, it really just depends on how you look at it, but right now the price for that F-18 is like $79, which it's probably well worth that, if not more, you know, from especially being talked about as a study level sim. However, as of right now, it's released as a beta, and on top of that, those of you who have played DCS at all, and of course just operating military fighters just by their very nature, it's almost imperative that one would have a HOTAS setup, and those of you who also utilize civilian sims as well, you know, P3D, FXX, all those acronyms. For those of you who, you know, utilize those sims, you know, I'm pretty sure some of you, if not all of you, have acquired, you know, maybe perhaps a basic joystick or yoke, throttle, and rudder pedal combo, and trying to I guess utilize a military fighter with a yoke. It's a little difficult. Not saying that it's impossible. It's just not as intuitive, being that, you know, pretty much every military fighter, you know, has a joystick, and, you know, especially when maneuverability and being able to access various functions in a short period of time, it's really in one's best interest to have a HOTAS setup, which, as of right now, I do not. The reason being is because right now I'm running a the Cytec / Logitech. For those of you who don't know, Cytec, apparently, I'm not sure if they sold or just sold some of their intellectual property, but Logitech is now producing the Cytec flight sim yokes now. So when one says Cytec, you know, they probably really mean the Logitech flight sim. But anyway, so I'm running the, like, a little basic joystick, the Extreme 3D Pro, and the only reason I have the Extreme 3D Pro is because of the Flight Sim Labs Airbus, and, you know, other Airbuses in general, you know, with them being that they utilize a joystick as a primary means of control. You know, I decided, you know, in the, you know, I guess as far as from a comfort standpoint, I went ahead and went with the joystick setup for, like, my Airbuses, but I also have your standard yoke for other aircraft that utilize the generic yoke and throttle style control setup. So that way I'm covered. But then when you add that third genre in there of a military flight sim, so now you need the, you know, now you need a HOTAS setup. And for those of you who aren't sure what HOTAS is, it's like a long acronym for hands on throttle and stick. So pretty much at all times your hands are on the throttle and the stick, which means almost every function that you would use to operate the aircraft under normal conditions, whether it be fighting or just basic flying controls, and we're 1,000 foot right there. And no, so anytime you use, like, your basic flying controls, pretty much your hands stay on the stick. Well, that's awesome, but then again, you know, like I said, if you running 3 different pieces of hardware, like I am, like right now I'm looking at my Extreme 3D Pro on my left, my yoke in front of me, and my throttle to the right of me. I really don't have a whole lot of real estate on my desk for any more peripherals. That being said, primarily I'm normally playing a civilian type flight sim. So now there are some, however, who are utilizing the Extreme 3D Pro or another another basic style joystick. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. And it can be done. You just have to get really creative in your key bindings and the functions that you use. For example, I know on the A10, the A10 has like what, like 4 or 5 different hat switches. So it might be more than that, but on the Extreme 3D Pro, guess what? We only have one. So, you know, you would have to include some sort of modifier to allow that single hat switch to act as if it's, you know, 4 or 5 or even 6 different hat switches. So, and then there's some guys out there who will not accept defeat, and they're just, I mean, they're flying the bloody thing using the keyboard. So, I mean, it can be done. Not saying that's not impossible. Not saying that, you know, if military sim is more of your thing, that, you know, it's completely out of your hands unless you go and drop, you know, drop $100 or $400 or $500 for a HOTA setup. You know, it doesn't mean that you can't necessarily do it. It's just be prepared to get a little creative. And sometimes it could be even frustrating, and it will probably be one of those situations that, you know, I would find myself in. You'd get so bloody frustrated, you'd say the heck with it, turn everything off, drive the Micro Center fries, and get your legitimate HOTA set up. That's great. But like I said, with, you know, me being primarily into more, you know, into civilian sims, I just couldn't justify the cost of purchasing an additional HOTA setup. Now, not to say you know, there isn't some, there aren't some just awesome HOTA setups out there. Like, for example, FlytheMaddogX makes one which I'm sure you guys are all aware of, the Warthog HOTA setup, and which comprises of like all metal construction, and the actual HOTAS setup itself encompasses the majority of the engine control the engine control functions, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, you have your engine start switches, your APU start switches, the detents for the throttles. I mean, it is a nice setup, and honestly, you know, I would almost venture out to say if I took my flight sim yoke, threw it away, and just had just the Thrustmaster, whistling, just the Thrustmaster setup, I don't think I would miss the flight sim yoke all that much. Probably the only thing I would miss would be the shape, but you know, that's also, you know, it's also $499, and like I said, you know, I don't, you know, I love the ability, I guess the actual shape, you know, it's just, this is what you're used to. I mean, it's what you're used to. So, I mean, like I said, you know, not saying that you probably wouldn't, you know, miss your, you know, heck, actually, it'd probably make you end up forgetting it. But like I said, I mean, it's just an awesome setup, and you know, there's people out there who use it for both, you know, P3D and DCS, but I just don't find myself playing DCS enough to justify purchasing that setup. Now, another caveat to that is, you know, let's say, you know, one decides to, you know, the F-18, you know, hits full maturity, and one decides to venture off there. I'm pretty sure the F-18 would be more than enough to occupy one's time for a considerable amount. So perhaps at that time it would justify investing into a you know, legitimate, you know, DCS / space sim, whatever else, HOTA setup, and you know, like I said, it makes life a whole lot easier, because I believe the stock Like I said, let's say you just went and purchased the the Warthog HOTAS and plugged it right in. I believe the bindings are already configured, so you know that just saves you a whole hour of trying to configure, oh god, hundreds of you know, key commands and button presses, and you can just jump in there and go flying. The F-18, I'm sure there's some differences here and there, but for the most part, you know, it shouldn't be too terribly bad. Now, I'm talking about the Warhawk setup because I'm entertaining the idea, but I just haven't convinced myself just yet. You know, because like I said, you know, I'm more or less into civilian flight sims. But when you guys get a chance, take a look at the F-18 setup, because it has a lot of potential. But you know, like I said, right now it's just in beta, and you know, give it a couple months or so, and see where they're at. And you know, I'm sure it's worth the $80 they're asking for. It's just I'm just not ready to drop $80 for a beta product right now. So, but I've seen a lot of YouTube videos of guys doing carrier ops with them, and from what it's looking like, it looks like the basic flight functionality is there. It's just a lot of the ancillary and I guess the additional sensors or whatnot, or the weapon systems. Or some weapon systems are missing, but you still can. I think they said you can still utilize like basic, like your sidewinder and your aim and things like that. So I mean, I'm sure there's plenty there to keep one occupied for a while. It's just I think I'll kind of sit. I think I'll sit in the background, just kind of see how everything pans out. But back to the graphics card. But yeah, so just I made the swap over yesterday, and I've been really impressed. Like I said, you're not just going to see. I mean, you will not see 100 FPS in P3D. You just won't see it. So. I mean, if it's fluid, if it's, you know, if it feels, you know, if I don't get a lot of, you know, getting stutters, to me that's a win. However, you know, when you go up, hey, what's going on? When you go into other more, I don't know, optimized graphics engines, you do notice a considerable difference in performance, and I mean considerable. And I mean, I was just really impressed. Even in the X-Plane 11, you know, I was just really impressed in its performance. Because I was kind of torn between that or the 1070 Ti. And I mean, quite frankly, you know, the 1070 Ti and the 1080, from what research I've conducted, seems to be pretty close in performance. I just went ahead and just went with the 1080 since the prices where it's like, you know, it was like less than like $100 difference. So decided to go ahead and bite the old bullet and go ahead and get it while the getting's good. Because I don't know, for all, you know, all we know, you know, prices could jump up tomorrow. I mean, we just don't know. But I've been looking to upgrade for quite some time, so you know, I figured now would be as good as time as any to do so. And like I said, I'm really impressed. You know, of course, there's not a whole lot of cloudage at the moment, but yesterday, what was it, yesterday or the day before yesterday? I know we had some, had a pretty gnarly system go through Dallas, and so jumped up and you know, had a little fun amongst the clouds there, and kind of corny, but anyway, had some fun there, and I mean, it was just solid. It was solid all the way through. So yeah, you know, you guys get a chance, you know, thinking about upgrading, you know, I would go ahead and jump on the bandwagon now, because I mean, we just don't know what the market's going to do. Like I said, it's good performance gain on the P3D and good performance gain on X-Plane, and I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm good with that. I was kind of curious. I tried Star Citizen for what it was worth, and I mean, it was better, but frame improvement did you get? Quite honestly, I know in Dallas with everything maxed out, prior to that with my 970, I was getting around like, sometimes it was good, it get as low as 13 with my 970. Of course, that's with pretty much everything almost maxed. But of course, you know, once I take off, you know, it kind of seems to line out, and you know, I'll get around like in 30s or 40s with my 970. And now, of course, this is, you know, we're in severe clear right now, but now we're getting around. Of course, mine's set to unlimited, but you know, getting as high as 80, 60 there. Probably say on average right now I'm running around, yeah, I say around like 60 on average. In the clouds there, it does, I mean, like in the heavy traffic areas, you know, it can get as low as like 25, but it's a very smooth and fluid 25, and which, you know, I'm okay with. But for the most part, you know, I'll get around like in the 40s or 50s, and even in scenery, I flew into San Diego yesterday with the FS Labs A320, and I was getting around 40 frames a second. I just purchased FS Dream Team's Memphis scenery, and we'll see what she does there as far as frames per second with FS Dream Team scenery. Like I said, I mean, everything else, it just, I mean, it chews straight through it. No problems at all. 8 gigs of DDR5X, which, you know, from reviews I've, you know, looked at, the differences between the regular DDR5 and the DDR5X or whatever, it's marginal. But, you know, I guess, you know, to a certain degree that, you know, kind of builds in a little future proofing. Because normally I'll try to keep a video card for about, about 2-3 years. Just depending, I'll keep one. And normally, well, before the cryptocurrency thing kicked off, normally by that time the latest gen has reduced in price, and I'll go ahead and make the jump at that point. Yeah, normally I've had a lot of, as far as like significant frame rate drops in my 970. Normally it was with FS Dream Team scenery, so I'm really looking forward to testing that out and seeing what she does with this guy. Whereas I don't know. To me, on my system, it seems as if the Mad Dog does pretty. She's pretty nice to my frames. But when you start running like more heavier aircraft like PMDG and FS Labs, and especially the FS Labs, it seems to bog it down somewhat. But I don't think that's so much as the GPU as the CPU, especially with the FS Labs A320. You're kind of mimicking like several different computerized systems there, so that sounds like it's going to lean more toward testing your CPU's capabilities than anything else. Well, like I said, really impressed with it. Like I really wanted to go ahead and purchase that F-18, but I just could not. I was looking at the add to cart button, but I could not push myself to spend $80 for beta, no matter how good it is. It just makes me real nervous about purchasing. If they could have honestly kept everything as is, I mean, of course, I appreciate their honesty, but They could have almost just kept everything as is and just kind of removed that beta from the name, and I probably wouldn't have went ahead and bought it. It's sad to say, but yeah, I probably wouldn't have bought it. And I'm probably cursing at life that I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to, you know, run that thing with a basic joystick setup and end up another what, $500 in the hole by purchasing the Thrustmaster's Warthog. But I don't know. I do remember. Let's see. When was it? It's a couple of days, like 2-3 days ago. I was browsing through some articles, and I caught wind that Thrustmaster is actually looking at producing a HOTA setup that mimics the F-18. Which, if they do that, I could probably venture to say that would be an instant buy for me. That's like no questions asked. I would have to go ahead and get it. What am I going to do with the rest of my peripherals? I have no idea, but I would probably end up going ahead and purchasing that. Just all their even with the Warthog, just, you know, you look at some of the reviews, and that mechanical click of all the switches is just, yeah, awesome. So I believe at some point, unfortunately, Thrustmaster will get my money. It's probably not today. You had to cut the elevation correction off on the elevation for sure, right? Oh. Oh yeah, okay, that I did not do. Oh man, that's awesome. Okay, yeah. That would have been disappointing. I had to cut the elevation correction off. Oh, okay. About 10 FPS in the ground. Oh, okay. I gotcha. That's FXX. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, now that you mentioned that, let me take a look here. Orbix. I'm running Gap. I believe you'll have to do it in P3D as well. Have vectors and reading testing. Well, no, there's just like to keep that most. Okay. We have our eyes to disable. Okay. So it doesn't seem like you have to disable AAC. Apparently what a lot of people have been doing in P3D is they've set their mesh mesh resolution too high. So on P3D, that's what's been causing some issues. But I guess we'll find out today, because I mean, if it's AAC that's the issue, I mean, that's a easy fix. It'll just look weird for the stream, but I mean, that's not a huge deal breaker. Our ground speed must be, oh, it's not bad. Okay. Not much wind at all this morning. Okay. But yeah, I I was kind of curious about that myself. It's quite funny though. As soon as somebody releases an airport in the southeast, it's like no matter what it is, I have to get it. I have to go ahead and buy it. It'd be kind of nice someone would show Louisiana, Mississippi some love. It doesn't, because I haven't found, because I've really been looking for scenery like for MSY. I know there is some like freeware scenery for MSY, but not loaded under the terminal. Holy smokes! Wow. But yeah, I know there's some. I know there's a bunch of freeware scenery out in southern states. Just can't find anything really for as far as payware. I know Blueprint did did quite a few scenery packages, you know, back in the day, but yeah, it's kind of for those of you who aren't familiar with Blueprint, just go to Sim Market, look at some of the screenshots, and it's kind of like, yeah. Under the plane, yeah, that's. I mean, honestly, that's so aggravating. I don't know. I'm gonna be pretty bummed out if the elevation isn't right, but I mean, like I said, it's not a huge deal. It's just, you know, it's almost like, you know, you really need to go ahead and preview the scenery before, as soon as you install it, because that one time you don't preview the scenery and you land there, either the runway's not there. Because I've had it, it's like you're on an ILS and then you get down to minimums and you look up, the runway's not even there. Like you'll have the terminal or the runway's not there, or vice versa, or something crazy. It's always something crazy. So, you know, and it's even more aggravating when you're in like a 2-hour stream and your airport's not there. So yes, sir, I guess we'll be finding out here shortly. Because I totally didn't preview it when I installed it. Totally didn't preview it. Totally. I should have. Oh, well. But yeah, you know, that's... yeah, so I've been on the never-ending quest for scenery, and in the area that I operate the most. Like, I know FS Dream Team, they have some old DFW scenery, but it hasn't been updated in quite some time. So I'm really not even. I really don't even think I'm gonna entertain it. I mean, it's just so old. So. Now, if we, you know, bringing X-Plane into the conversation, that's one thing at one point, you know, it seemed like FSX and FS9 were just going to leave X-Plane in the dust as far as scenery, but now it's getting to the point to where it's hard to go somewhere and not find scenery. And I've found that as the truth, because that was another, when I was kind of running my video card, I took the Saab 340, and I just found it's a random small airport in Texas, in like a place called San Angelo, and they had 3D enhanced scenery there, believe it or not. And when you pull up the airport map now, it's just covered with enhanced scenery, and I'll go as far as to say, I think the only thing that's really keeping X-Plane 11 from just giving, what was I going to say? For giving P3D a run for their money is the weather. So. Oh, yep, well, that was another thing. I just saw an article that Active Sky, or Hi-Fi Sim, well, yeah. Let's see, I just got... Chat, they're saying that I might need to disable GSX. Wait a minute, FSDT, they have a Jackson scenery? No, really? FSDT. Or is it JFK? Oh, like I was gonna say, holy smokes! I wish I had some KGen scenery. FS, let's see. I checked their website. I didn't see it unless I missed it. I know there is KGen scenery for FXS because I remember running it, but I just don't know. Just don't remember where I got the thing. Man, I'll have to look now because you have me curious. But if on X-Plane 11, Mr. Woods, there is some just phenomenal KGen scenery. Gulfport, there's some phenomenal Gulfport. Like all of the airports that you and I will be familiar with, they have scenery for, and I mean it's just yeah. So it's I have to say it's been tough. I'm telling you, these developers, they keep putting out just solid work as far as aircraft models for P3D. And I mean, if we're just looking at, you know, comparing apples to apples, that's, you know, between that and the weather, that's one of the two things that's like keeping me from kind of not making P3D my primary sim. Other than that, you know, I would probably be leaning more toward X-Plane. And, you know, not to get, because I mean, once again, you know, there are some things that X-Plane 11 does well, the P3D doesn't. And there are some things that P3D does well, so, you know, it's kind of hard to get in the argument. I mean, in my personal opinion, I still think one would need to have both, because it never fails. You'll get that one developer, they'll drop like a game changer down on, you know, one sim or the other, and it's just like, man, I totally wish I had X-Plane now, or man, I wish I had P3D now. So I just found it to be, you know, in my best interest just to kind of keep things flexible and just keep both. But that being said, you know, looking at, you know, if you're having one of those days where it's like, you know, you want to fly somewhere but you just really don't want to look at basic scenery, I've found myself leaning more toward X-Plane than anything else, because just the way they have the integration now with WED, or yeah, WED, or whatever it's called, it's just making it easier for scenery developers to put out content, which, you know, I mean, it's leading to just pretty much every airport you can think of, you know, has some sort of coverage. Now that's not encompassing everything, but for the majority of the airports that, you know, are well visited, you know, I mean, of course, you know, especially like places like Texas, you have those airports that are quote unquote open, but they might get one aircraft landing there like every 2 weeks. So, you know, I mean, those type of airports, you're probably not going to get any enhanced 3D coverage on. However, you know, let there be one person who goes there and is like, man, you know, or somebody who's even from there, you know, man, it'd be awesome if there was a building here or something like that. You can jump onto the scenery editor and throw you an overlay down there, and, you know, 10, 15 minutes, you'll at least have a few buildings. I mean, it might not be Mr. X level or, Mr. Afraid to Fly level, but you know, you'll have something that, okay, there's the terminal building or whatever. So I mean that's what's, you know, that's the competition that, you know, P3D is dealing with. So and you know, competition is always good. And that's, like I said, you know, there's always a game changer, or you know, some type of release that, you know, a developer will drop, and you know, it's just like, oh my gosh, I have to have it no matter what platform it's on. And so, you know, that may keep you the P3D. It's like I said, it's just best to keep both. I mean, you know, if you can, if you got the space, just keep both, and just ride both sides of the fence. I mean, there's really not a whole lot else to say, because, I mean, you know, just at any one, you know, any given moment, you know, there's always something new and improved coming out, or you know, always something ridiculous coming out for either one of the platforms. So, and then now you got DCS now with F18, and it's like, oh my gosh. Cause this, I mean, I try, because I have the DCS, the A10C or A10 Charlie version, and I fired it up last night, just, you know, out of sheer boredom, and just trying to get, and this is with the profile I found online, just the task of trying to get your key bindings configured on a non-HOTAS joystick setup is tough. Like I said, you will have to be bound, not saying that's impossible, but you will have to be bound and determined to get a basic joystick setup to be somewhat comfortable to operate in DCS, because I mean it is a, you know, it is a no joke military style sim, and you know, it just, like I say, it's pretty much one of those things, you know, if military sims are your thing, if you buy DCS, you might as well jump on Amazon or Micro Center Fries or whatever electronic store you're near, and just go ahead and buy you, you know, a decent joystick and throttle setup, because it's, I mean, it's tough, and it's so sad, because you see, you know, you see forum posts, I mean, because you're, you know, in your frustration, you're like, man, I really don't want to fork over, you know, $100 or whatever to try to, you know, try to buy another joystick, and then you look and you're like, well, maybe some people are having better luck than I am. And it's no. You know, someone made a post. It was like, has anybody got the Logitech Extreme 3D Pro to work on DCS F18? And the forum, mind you, the post has been there for almost a week, and no response. Like, no, oh yeah, like they're not even having that conversation anymore. On the A10, you would have a few guys here and there releasing profiles for them, and I mean, it's just, people are just not having it now. So yeah, just, if you're going that route, just go ahead and get you one. And I hate to say it, I don't know where I'm going to fit it on my desk, but I'm probably going to have to get a decent HOTAS. I think that's how you pronounce it. HOTAS. So yeah, it looks like we're actually getting pretty close to Dallas. I've already got my flight plan for Memphis set up, so it should be a pretty smooth turn, barring no unforeseen. So flying, I think it's like 394 miles into good old Memphis, and hopefully we'll be able to land there, and the airport's actually there. They're not under any weird mesh or anything, and should be cool and be able to actually test this thing out. It's like right now I'm running about, how many frames? Like 40, 50 frames, somewhere around there. Like I said, I keep mine unlimited, but yeah, like 40, 50 frames a second. Actually, let's try something here. Just out of sheer curiosity. Hopefully I don't break anything. I probably will, but let's keep it. Let's see what she does right at 40. So right now I'm set right at 40 frames a second, and 38, 39. Let's do a little panning there, a little panning action. That's floating hither and there. Check on the outside. Oh yeah, and it's pegged at, yeah, it's pegged at 40. Of course, right now it's not that much of a bind, but dive in there, you'll get a little fluctuations, which is like meh. You know, it's not just a huge deal, but like I said, I normally keep mine unlimited. You know, it really just depends on one's setup. Let's go here. Let's see. Double descent. We'll go ahead and call it right there. So we'll go ahead and start at about 5,000 feet. Arm that. And we'll wait. We'll go ahead and wait and start that descent into Dallas. That's a nice thing about this airplane. I mean, it keeps you busy, but you're just not overly busy. I mean, you really don't start your work. Well, I guess that's with any aircraft, but your workload really doesn't start picking up till you're approaching landing. Let's see. I'm just curious, see what it does. I guess it wants me to wait. Everything's looking pretty good. Let's see. 0.7. But yeah, we got like no wind right now, and it's this flight up north has. Alright, so starting our descent right there. Normally I'll throw it in vertical speed mode, but I'm just kind of curious to see what this old girl will do. See how accurate she is. We got a few crossing restrictions in there, but nothing crazy. Zooming in a little bit, and you can kind of see what we got going on. Where's my plan mode? There we go. And you can kind of see what we got going on there. So bells, tackle, and then it'll just kind of throw you for a nice little downwind there, and then you'll jump on vectors. But at that point, you know, I want to try to keep the pattern nice and tight, right? So we'll probably just make a little base like there, so a small one, and onto runway. I think it's runway what, 17? Yeah, 17 right. So that's the plan at least. So that is the plan, and then on to Memphis and back to FMS to idle. Cool. Then at that point, you know, gotta jump off there and do some things with the fam. I'm sure you guys know how that goes. You know, most of us flight simmers do have families, you know. which makes our flight simming time even more precious. I mean, our family time. Alright, let's see. Our bells. So bells, we're looking for bells, we're looking for 15,000, so it's like it's doing the thing there, to try to hit 15. We'll just kind of watch it and see if it lines out. I am kind of curious though, as far as from a comparison standpoint, how Rotate Mad Dog stands up to FlytheMaddogX, which at one point I was on the early beta team for Rotates, and I mean, as far as the visuals are concerned, I mean, the thing looks amazing. But after the release, I kind of fell out because I really, honestly, at that time, I really wasn't hanging around X-Plane that much. So, but after release, they made some more improvements, but I haven't, like I said, I haven't had the opportunity to take another look at it. So, if you guys by any chance have both, feel free to drop a comment and let me know how it is, because yeah, I'm really curious. Go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Alright, so coming out of transition altitude, and go ahead and update the altimeter. I don't know, looks like she might hit it at 15. There we go. I can see that we need to be below 17 and above 15, so looks like she's gonna hit it right on the head there, which is awesome, because I mean, whether or not this guy does this in real life, I doubt it. But you know, I think sometimes I'm pretty sure they're happy if the vertical speed just works on it. Alright, she is nosing down to try to catch what we're catching. Holy smoke, she's nosing down. You need drag, don't you? I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. Because you're trying to hit tackle below 15. Okay. Go ahead and get out of it right there. Let me double check my ILS. 176, 176. 17 right. We ain't gonna put my speed card out. Anyway, 112. Everything else should match up. 143, 134. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and turn on those fasten seatbelt signs. Okay, I kind of see.
Secure
I kind of see why they prefer you to just run it in vertical speed mode. I mean, it's not bad. It's just a little on the, just a tad bit on the aggressive side. Let's see, we're hitting Dallas now, so let's see, right now she's around like 31, dip down to 19 there. Okay, looks like we got the ILS there. There we got the ILS and the localizer. Yep. Cool. Alright. Cool. I know a lot of times you'll either get like the glide slope or the localizer. Just kind of, excuse me, this kind of depends on where you're at. Alright, so 11,000. Almost 220. Which makes sense, because right now would be stacked. That'll probably be an aircraft a little bit ahead of us there. About to dip below 10,000. And actually, while we're not overly busy, let's go ahead and turn up our engine driven pumps and our trans and aux pump. I mean, you can wait a little later, but just being that we're by ourselves, yeah.
Landing gear.
Alright, it's been landing lights down. Set this to go around. Turn on the engine ignition. See pressurization. Looks like it's matching up. I'll probably bump this up just a little bit. There we go. Pack's still on auto. Everything's good there. It's good. See low signs on. Okay. We're passing over Lake Louisville at the moment. A Little Elm Bridge there off our 9-10 o'clock. Highway 380 right there. Paloma Creek subdivision, like right under us. Whoops, am I getting a little too... Are we sightseeing here? No. Actually, I think that might be 30, the bridge that crosses, that might be 35. That might be a Little M Bridge there. Could be wrong. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just fly the entire pattern, because if you check right now, what time is it? 11. Yeah, they're pretty busy right now, so we'll just go ahead and fly the whole arrival. Alright, we'll go ahead and throw into old heading mode. And once we get lined out, we'll hook up with the localizer. And once we get established in the localizer, we'll intercept that glide slope. Let's go ahead and do direct. That's probably my bad. Let's do it one more time. Direct nets. There we go. And we got the GL's the glide slope fail flag there, but that's fine. We'll catch it again shortly. Let's see. Actually, we'll go ahead and start working our way down to 3 grand. Armor localizer. Alright. so right now I got our speed set 220. Localizer mode is armed, and we just captured localizer. Vertical speed set for 3,000 feet. It's probably going to go ahead and capture the islets there, but it should be. That's fine. Let's go ahead and start kind of getting things. Getting things lined out there. Alright, everything's set. Got our speed set to 170, and we'll go ahead and throw in some slats.
Slats extended.
I'll go ahead and throw some flaps. We're on a glide slope right there. 12 nautical miles out. Gear down.
Gear down. 3-3.
Now we'll work on getting set up for our approach speed there. Let's see. Set them down here. We'll set all brakes to minimum. Got plenty of runway there. Won't stop being weird.
2,500.
Let's see, flash 15.
Stabilizer motion.
Okay. Plus 28.
Flaps 28.
Stabilizer motion.
Okay, getting nice and slow there. And we'll go ahead and take controls. Just keeping in mind it is quite warm, so
1,000.
if you do have to go around. Just kind of be mindful of that. Yeah, it was effort visual.
Four hundred. 300. 200. 100. Light slope. Light slope. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
2 in reverse. 60 knots. Reverse lights out.
Okay, let's go ahead and get off the active.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Please remain seated and keep your seatbelts fastened until the fasten seatbelt sign has been turned off. Passengers
Alright, let's get
continuing
cleaned
on
up.
another flight are kindly requested to contact the ground staff for information
There are
regarding
landing lights up there. Put these bad boys on dim.
We wish you a pleasant stay
Radar
and
off
enjoy
so we
the
won't give anyone cancer. Let's see. Strobes off. This guy off. Get this APU fired up. Start pump off. That off. That off. That off. And go ahead and clear that master caution. And we'll hit this one. No big deal. Actually, we can go ahead and kill one. Get a little single engine action going on real quick as we ease up into the gate. I don't have anybody to marshal me, so alright, let's see. Oh, did not want to click that. There we go.
Yes, sir.
Get some external air
Connect
hooked
to low
up real
pressure air,
quick.
please. Stand by. Okay, here comes pressure.
Now the reason why I'm doing that is try to save a little fuel. Let's see. Gate. Beacon. Alright, gate there. Doing that, D-board, American. Now we'll go ahead and clear all this up as well. Alright, so excuse me. So we're down. Let's go ahead and get our FMC lined up real quick. Let's see what is it coming for. So we're gonna need 19,000. Calling for quite a bit. I don't need that much. Alright, so you guys might not see this. I don't think you can. Let's see if I can change it. You may or may not see this. Let me see if I can. Alright. Capture. Awesome. Alright. So you guys may or may not see that. There we go. But yeah, so normally I'll just do like random and do a decent load. So right now, got about excuse me, got about 100 or so passengers. So, and quite a bit of cargo. 18 on the tank. That's fine. And you also have the ability to utilize this and get a more accurate fuel. Right now I'm using SimBrief, so that's where I'm getting my fuel numbers from, but you can actually input all the data here, and being that it's Allegiant, they don't use any flight planning at all, so they don't have anything in here. That's good. Yeah, you also set up your failures and all that cool stuff, and setup page where you can set up your sounds, events, things like that. You can also set for things to be deferred, so you can go to your deferred equipment list and check what's what, all that fun stuff. But alright, so we got that, so we'll go ahead and save this and head back to the plane there, and where is it? There we go. Alright, so we'll go ahead and FlytheMaddogX, reload our config. So looks like we're all set there. And let's see, go ahead and get this in there. Slap this in right quick. I don't even know. Did the wings change? I don't think they did. I don't think they did. Or we'll cheat. Nope. So we can take 17 right. 17 right, and what is our... Alright, so fork 2. Fork 2, no transition. At that point, we'll go direct to El Dorado. Direct El Dorado, like so. To over 3. Runway 27. LD to be the transition, and we'll take an approach transition as well. And looks like we're unloaded, so we'll go ahead and board. Start boarding. Yeah, if you're all about the immersion, you can use GSX or whatever, or you can just push back and go. Either way. Alrighty. So yeah, we're a little heavier. On this leg than before. 157. Double check our cabin temperatures there. So yeah, we got that external air going, so and let's see, fuel 18.4, and we'll be running a normal schedule, so put that in there. And calling for a cruise altitude of, drum roll please, 33,000. If it's 133,000, tell you one thing, won't be up there long.
We may assist you. To
Won't be
expedite
up there
your
long
process,
at all.
please be seated as quickly as possible after stowing your carry-on items. Take a moment.
Free, negative
Are also asked to
42.
obey the exit row seating requirements. If you are seated in an exit row, you may be required to assist the crew in an evacuation. If you are unwilling or have a condition which will hinder you from performing the functions of the
30988.
just please ask to be reseated. All cellular telephones and other portable electronic devices, such as CD players and laptop computers, must be turned off and stored for departure. Additionally, we require that all passengers keep their seatbelts fastened at all times while seated, and any time the fasten seatbelt sign is in use.
And 2.5.
Regulations require your compliance with all lighted signs, placards, and crew member instructions. Once again, welcome aboard.
Alright, let's see. So at this point, we are pretty much set. We just gotta wait to hear our last weight count, and we'll be getting the heck out of here. Let's see, 135. Go ahead and get our numbers in there. Sarah speed bugs, and we're pretty good. We are pretty good. And actually, it's like they're done boarding already, so we just gotta wait on our lovely flight attendant. We're just gonna assume she's elderly because she's like ridiculously slow and won't hurry up and give us her paperwork. But actually, what we can do while we're waiting on that, we'll go ahead and get some of that external equipment off our aircraft. So we'll go ahead and slide over here and open up our cross bleed valves. Check it with some air there. So now we can go ahead and...
Yes, sir. You're cleared to disconnect.
Disconnect our air.
Thanks.
Seatbelt signs on. And we're just waiting on paperwork. Always waiting on something. Now, I guess another thing, especially with the hotter temperatures now, and especially even more so if it's operating, in a larger airport where we have the real estate to do so. But normally, I would prefer to do a flex takeoff, but I have yet to find the which I believe is in the manual, which I guess I got a RTFM, but I'd like to get a hold of the flex temp calculations to actually do a flex takeoff, because the last thing you want is to try to put your engines in too much of a bind and also over temp them. So okay, did she already give us our... I don't think I missed it. All right, at this point, yeah, we're just gonna say we just got up and got them from her, cause yeah. All right, so 101.1. All right, so we'll go ahead and request that doors and everything are shut. Close the aft cabin door. Alright, looks like she's all buttoned up, so let's go ahead and pull that gate. And get out here. We'll double check that one more time. Alright, so once again, we'll dive over here and trans-NOx pump on. Our anti-collision light is indeed on. And turn that guy on, get our fuel pumps on. And now that we got good fuel pressure, we can actually turn that start pump off, so keep our APU stage running. Alright, now we'll go ahead and get pushed back on departure, waiting for other services to complete. Oh, we're still waiting on luggage. You have got to be kidding me. Well, guess what? We just won't have backstage either. So, go ahead and reset position and go ahead and do that. Get that departure going. And let's see. I'll go ahead and say right. We'll see. That sounds about right though, and it's probably some bags on another connection or something holding us up, but we don't have time. We have to go.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Got to keep that on-time performance going.
Locking gear.
Gotta go.
Departure check completed. Live has been inserted. Release parking brakes. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start that wheel.
Alright. Of course, we'll verify we're clear on the right. Go ahead, and since we use ignition A, I'm going to use ignition B this time. Open up that start valve. Prior to that, we'll go ahead and turn off those packs there. They'll get passengers get a little warm, but we'll be okay once we get these engines spun up. Alright, so she's creeping up there slowly but surely, looking for that 23%. And there she goes. There she goes. We'll go ahead and call it right there. Watch that EGT. And it's coming up. Alright, so we got good airflow going through there. And go ahead and close that start valve just like that. And verify we're clear on the left. Go ahead and open that left start valve. Go ahead and watch that M2 percentage. So 18%, 19%. Waiting for that 23 and bow. We'll go ahead and call it right there. Okay, EGT is good. Of course, got good oil pressure and all that, so we'll go ahead and close that start valve. Turn off that ignition there. Go ahead and get that air back on there post haste. And we'll go ahead and turn off our APU. Close those bleed valves. And flights 15.
Set parking brakes.
Park brake set. And while they're doing everything, we can be doing ours. By getting everything configured. It's got a phone call. Okay. Hey, when you get a phone call, just like completely throws you off kilter. Alright, so and what did I say? 33,000. Alright.
Tow truck disconnected. Live
Go, it's good there. And go ahead and turn these on, even though we probably won't need them until we hit 33,000 feet. Let's see, anti-skid, yaw damper. Oh, that's good. That's good. And we'll go ahead and turn that off. Cool down period.
Left is clear.
Cool.
Right is clear.
Just got that done in a totally non-realistic, like 10-minute turnaround. I don't know, I'd say non-realistic. If it was Brew like a regional or something. That's possible. All right, let's get out of here. Now we're a little heavier, so we'll have to bump the engines up just a little bit to get her to roll. And roll them back. Okay, there we go. I'll stay in it just a little bit though. And we'll do that there. Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely find out here shortly if that seameter works or not, because like I said, I probably should have checked it, but yeah. Yeah, roll those engines back. Okay. Add a little power. And so we'll be landing 2-7 in Memphis. So we'll probably like a left downwind and landing. Tell you what, don't seem like we'll luck out and get straight in and save our lives today. Don't seem like it, at least. $30°C right now. Good night. Which I guess in hindsight, I don't know, I guess 30 isn't terrible. Like 37 or 38 or something. I know yesterday it was definitely over 30. I think there's like 85, 86 degrees, I think. So, which considering, I mean, that's somewhat pleasant, but it's definitely been warmer than what we've been operating in for sure. Alrighty, let's go ahead and some brakes there. Alright, I'm just going to assume we got clearance. Not assume, but pretend I got clearance, I guess you can say. Okay. Radar on, and we're creeping. We're creeping. Alright, let's get that on there. Everything's in order. Hydraulic pressure looks good. Looks good. We're trimmed up. Auto brake set. I think we are ready to go. Go ahead and enter the runway and environment. Then you can check, see, make sure your funnel's clear and your runway is clear. And like I said, we'll pretend that we have clearance received for the purposes of this video. And we'll do a rolling takeoff there. Steer nice and lined up and get out of here.
Takeoff thrust set.
And get the L throw on.
Clamp. 80 knots, cross check. V1, rotate. Positive rate.
Yeah, we'll call it gear up.
Gear up, lights out.
And about 1,000 feet.
Climb thrust set.
Whoop. Let's see. Look at that. There we go. Pitch there. Cleaned up real quick.
Flap 0.
And retract those
Slats
slats.
retracted.
Now I'll go ahead and give it to auto this time, that way I can get on still. That's off. And hydraulic pumps to low and oxygen trans. There we go. Cool. Yep, just FYI, just make sure you put that zero fuel weight in there. If not, your flight management computer will have no idea how to run the airplane. So, it's my public service announcement for the day. And there we go. Cool. Zoom out just a little bit. And we are we'll be starting a left turn here shortly, so I think that's not Grapevine Lake. Is that Grapevine Lake? No, it's not. Never mind. That's another one. Alright, coming out at 7,000 feet there. Got our hydraulics set, ignitions off, climb power set. Landing lights, we'll leave those down for right now. And the freaking partridge in the pear tree. So, alright, cool. Should be heading on into lovely Memphis, and which will conclude our 2-leg trip for the morning. Double check our pressurization, make sure we're cabin's climbing. I went ahead and left it around 302 since that's kind of somewhat similar. So, but I don't know. I get to field elevation from Memphis real quick. Yeah, it's 341 feet. You can kind of interpolate. As long as you're in the ballpark, I mean, it's not it's not just horrible, but you know. Alright, so we're passing 10,000. Go ahead and bring those landing lights up, and seatbelt signs are off. And it's about 400 miles. So not just a ridiculously long flight. Alright, cool. And give me 5 minutes, folks. I'm gonna step out of the flight deck and grab me something to drink, and I'll be right back. Got a little intruder here, folks. There we go. All right. Ah, the joys of children. All right, cool. Looks like we're getting close to 18,000 feet. And we'll go ahead and throw her in. Go ahead and get 299.2 on the altimeter. And I don't know why we hit B. Get 299.1 for some reason. But yeah, looks like we're actually a little bit ahead of schedule from what I had guesstimated. Let's see. There you go. Yeah, looks like we're a little bit ahead of schedule. I expected to be about an hour behind, but so far this has been working out. I just don't know because I think our ground speed's around like 8 knots even at 33,000 feet, so we're don't look like we're going to be getting any help at all getting over there. I mean a little, but not much. Not as much as I'd like, at least. But I mean, as far as, you know, if you're, you know, if you plan on doing like, you know, actual trips instead of just individual runs here and there, some aircraft I've found tends to be a little more difficult to accomplish that because, especially if you have to deal with like external load managers and, you know, sometimes you have to reload the aircraft because it's not running or whatever, not running correctly or whatnot. But I will say that they've done a pretty good job. I used to have a lot of issues doing like during turns and the Mad Dog because, you know, of course they use that external load manager, but it seems as if, you know, once they added that this little feature in here, reload CFG from a load manager, just click that, and of course it updates, you know, updates your weight as long as you save it, but it updates your weight. That way it doesn't make it, you know, you don't have to reload the aircraft. Yeah, it's just aggravating doing that. So, I mean, you can actually, be running all day and not have to worry about exiting the sim, which is nice. I mean, it doesn't seem like much, but it's a huge deal for me. Sometimes I won't shut my sim down. I'll just keep running, and which isn't the healthiest for the software, but I'll keep it running, for at least 3 trips. Once I start hitting like the 4th or the 5th, sometimes I'll shut it down or then bring it back up or just reboot the whole bloody computer. But it's just a very robust simulation. Even the FS Labs. Well, I've gotten lucky with FS Labs. I'm not gonna lie, but sometimes I'll get like a random CTD with FS Labs for some strange and obscure reason. For some strange and obscure reason. But yeah, so far frames. I mean, I did notice a drop in frames, of course, when I hit the Metroplex, but it didn't slow to a crawl like it normally does, especially during the daytime. At night, it's not so bad, but I'm assuming with the extended visibility, it it bogs it down considerably. But I mean, like I said, you know, P3D doesn't really utilize the GPU to its fullest extent, you know, as like, you know, X-Plane 11 does, or, you know, other, you know, more GPU based, you know, games out there. But even, I mean, even X-Plane 11, a lot of the calculations are done by the CPU. But you know, it's just a little more optimized than a lot of our ESP based sims that we all know and love. But I mean, in hindsight, you know, I mean, I would still say it's worth the money to go ahead and, you know, especially if you have the opportunity and, you know, have the money or whatnot, you know, go ahead and, you know, get your upgrade out of the way. That way, you know, if something does come along, you know, at least you're prepared for it. But even from when I've been talking to a couple of, I know there's another guy I was talking with the other day. I mean, he runs like a 1060, I think. No, I'm sorry, 1070 Ti, and runs great. Doesn't have any issues. Let's look at 2 cells right there at 12 o'clock. Where's that? Yeah, I got 2 cells there. I don't think we're gonna. But I know we're probably not gonna outclimb them, but we'll try to shoot that gap there and call it good. Hopefully it's just that and not another one. But yeah, we'll try to shoot that gapple cone good along, as long as, you know, or sometimes I've had it where you know, you get a little closer, and then that last sweep you just get an entire frontal system, and you're just like, oh my gosh. But I think we'll be all right. Then again, I don't know. I had to shoot a text real quick. Oh man. I can't help but wonder, man, this is going to be kind of off topic there, but you know, with a lot of these, I know a lot of these Mad Dogs getting up around, you know, in the 30s and some of them 40s, but you know, I can't help but wonder some of the smells that probably permeate in those flight decks. The only reason why I say that, because I know on the Saab you just had this odor of just like coffee and just something else. I'm not gonna say on the stream, but it's just it was just, I don't know, just though I don't even know how I was kind of even thought about that, but just you know, you can only imagine, especially some of these old girls or some of the odors, just weird. I don't know. It's one of those, and I'm just one of those individuals with a excuse me, like overly sensitive nose, and it's just like, what's that smell? I don't know. It's just weird. It's, I don't know. And go ahead and hit the seatbelt just in case. I don't know. There she is. There she is. Check her G meter. Stop. I kind of hear him back there. I see one is like right on top of our intersection of Fork, so we might, if I think we are, go ahead and skip that one. Got one CB there for almost at 1 o'clock. We'll just keep this course for right now. I think we should be fine. Oh boy, looks like we might get some action here in a little bit. let's try to we'll see in the void and stay clear of that and that.
Look, Daddy.
Oh man, sometimes you kind of miss the old school days of when YouTube first came about and you could pretty much stream what you want and, you know, run a little music in the background without the channel getting banned and flogged and burned at the stake and all that fun stuff. There we go. I think we'll be alright. I was just hoping we didn't hit anything crazy, but I don't think so. I think we'll be fine. Okay, we'll go ahead and on that nav mode. I know, and on there, set track, I know.
Daddy.
Yes, baby. Alright, we'll just go direct to El Dorado right now. There we go.
Hey.
Okay, so let's see. And let's check our progress. About 131 miles out for our time descent. 132.53. Okay. Yeah, it shouldn't be too terribly bad. terribly bad. Yeah, I really thought this trip was gonna be fairly long, but hard to stream that. These should be gone. I'm surprised he even has. I'm surprised he even has these right now. I'll have like a tablet or something posted on the side here, like an iPad or whatnot, with their AFB gear and all that fun stuff. But I don't know, because it's like I've noticed a lot of crews nowadays like completely go paperless, but it's like, I mean, unless a lot of the flight decks nowadays are equipped with, I guess, what, I don't know, charging ports or something like that, or, you know, if there's a mouthful. Well, then again, you know, FO has it, FO has one as well, so I guess they calculate the likelihood of something like that happening to both units, and I guess they kind of, I guess that's what, you know, led them to, you know, determine that it may not, you know, they, you know, the cost of keeping paper charts at all, you know, isn't a justifiable expense, so they probably just went ahead and left it alone. I'm assuming. But who knows? Who knows? Especially, I don't know, these old girls anyway, I guess, you know, with their limited shelf life now. I think Allegiant is going to get rid of theirs, the rest of theirs, well, the ones that are still operational. They'll be get rid of theirs, I believe, November, sometime around this, yeah, November of this year. And Americans slowly but surely working theirs out of circulation, so it's kind of sad to admit, but unfortunately, you know, in the foreseeable future, I mean, the only way you'll see one of these guys is if you're actually in the sim. Because I don't even think companies like FedEx, I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't foresee FedEx or anybody like that picking these guys up and converting them to freighters. I know they had a freighter variant, but I don't think, I don't know, I'm sure they'll probably look at the performance and kind of see, and see if it's, you know, something that they would want to investigate, but I doubt it. I don't know. It'd be nice, no doubt, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, when you compare it to like the 757 and, you know, aircraft such as that, and you stack them up between the two, the performance just isn't that great. So getting pretty close to our intersection, and we'll be making a left turn to A. I think that's what it's called. and if you guys are just jumping in, welcome. I haven't even looked at much, quite honestly. Oh no, I can't help but keep panning because it's so smooth. It's terrible. I've deprived myself for way too long. And I guess, you know, in the terms of talking video cards, since I guess that was the nature of my stream, it is pretty nice because the version I bought, like I said, it's the KMSY Armor Edition, which is not ridiculously overclocked, since that wasn't what I was, I guess, looking for. I was looking for something that wasn't the reference card, because I didn't like the way the reference cards looked, but, you know, something that wasn't just ridiculously overclocked to where, you know, I still had some room if I wanted to, you know, if you wanted to play with it a little bit. And that's what led me to come up with, led me to decide on the MSI Armor Edition, and plus it kind of matches my case, so I was kind of looking at that as well. But well, I guess one of the cooler things about it is like the fans like don't run until it hit around like 60 degrees Celsius. So, you know, if I'm just browsing or something like that, I mean, for the most part stays silent. I mean, you don't even know it's there. And then of course, you know, like right now, this actually be pretty interesting to see, especially since I'm running. Let's see. GPU Z. Turn that on. Run. Let's see what she's looking like. Right now, my GPU clock is at 1658. Boost clock is at 1797. Right, as of right now, as we speak, my core clock is running at 1556. And GPU temp 56 degrees. Fan speed is 0. It's not even running right now. Let's see here. Memory used. Let's see. Hold on, guys. Let me see if I can get this up here for y'all. Properties. Or is it going to be weird? I don't know. It might not work. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know. Won't let me show it right now, but yeah, right now fan speed's at 0. I'll get a benchmark and post it because it's actually quite interesting. But yeah, so far, I mean, like super impressed with it. I'm just glad it wasn't like $700-800 like they used to be. Alright, let's see what we're looking like here. 174 miles out, top percent, 51 miles. Right now we're at 33,000 feet, ground speed of 448 knots, with a tailwind of a whopping 9 knots. It's awesome. Awesome.
Darling.
It's okay. See, we got some convective activity somewhere. Or I may not have drawn it yet. I don't know. I'd prefer to finish out this trip on a good note, but I don't know. Let's double check some. Double check my legs here. Yeah, so basically coming in from the southwest, right past RoCab vector, so and we can probably, I guess you can do it one of two ways. Either come on upwind leg and go downwind, and then for your basic final, or cross midfield. Or they can kind of keep them out, and I mean, you can do it several ways. There's like, really just depends on ATC. I'm sure there's others who could probably chime in. But both of those ways, I've actually been vectored both ways. It's weird, especially late at night in Memphis. They'll, whatever. I mean, if they can get you in the straight in, they'll get you in the straight in. And a lot of times it's like almost the shortest distance possible. But, I mean, I've rarely used 09 and 27. Rare, very, very rarely used. I mean, the winds would have to be like just, you know, 15, 20 knots coming out of, you know, the east or the west before they'd want to use 27 or 09. Alrighty, so we're about, let's see, should be getting pretty close to 28 miles from our descent point. And we'll go ahead and throw in our ILS info, our nav1 radio, get that programmed up, and get prepared for that descent. I went ahead and left the seatbelt signs on since passing through that weather. Went ahead and left those guys on. I'm not gonna bother turning it off for a few moments. Set there. I mean, but for the most part, it's pretty decent weather. I mean, I figured it'd be a lot worse, especially with it starting to become summertime. Well, I guess it is summertime depending on where you're at. But then again, most of the time, especially in the southeast, we normally don't get our convective activity until toward the evening, so it'll be severe clear all day, and then that certain time where it'll be 4 or 5 o'clock, that freaking, you know, you'll get a thunderstorm with, you know, 30 or 40,000 foot tops in a matter of an hour. And it doesn't take long at all, and depending on severity, sometimes you'll get a little tornadic action with that as well. But it's just kind of how it is, you know. in that particular area. There's, you know, the humidity is there, so you're really just waiting for the heat, and then the heat comes, and you know. Look outside view. Let's see here. And go ahead. Get set up there. Whoop. Okay, here we go. Whoa, alright, my bad. Oh, for some reason mine just like instantly hit my... I just got a donation there, so whoever donated, I do appreciate your contribution. And that's just going to go into the prize pot. So next stream probably have a giveaway. Yay! I honestly forgot about it. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, I said I'd go donate because I wanted to do like a little giveaway or something like that, and I set the goal there, and I forgot about it. I went to work, and of course the deadline for the goal overlapped, so it was like it was like minus something crazy, and the goal was only like $30, and hit the goal, so cool. So yeah, that'll go into the prize bucket, and like I said, next stream we'll probably have a little giveaway. So, Awesome. Alright, looks like we're coming in at 24,000 feet. And TPA was got TPA set for like 3,000. Alright, should be hitting, what's that restriction there? Holbrook at 20, below 23,000, so we'll hit that. What's data? There we go. FMS in idle mode, so that's fine. And double check our approach speeds. Quick. So 141. 155. Okay. Alright, cool. Alright, below 18,000 there, so transaction altitude, quit. And we'll go ahead and throw it in vertical speed. Hold on, this one. Matthew. Okay, baby. That's cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Alright, coming out of 14,000. And we can just go ahead and change our paper limit. Z3.
Thank you. Oh, wait,
Oh man. Oops. Okay, and we'll just got our heading set to about 090 should work. Alright, it goes about 6,000 feet. Ident. And there's the airport.
Daddy, ooh, what is that? What is that? Oh, what's that?
Alright, and there's the airport there. Let's see what the frame's looking like. And 30, 40, not too bad. Let's go ahead and turn those on there. Some trans. About 30, 20, let's see. Not terrible. Alright, so that's around 3,000 feet. Bump throttle speed up just a little bit. Help bleed off just, I mean, at least a little bit of this airspeed. I'm not too worried about it right now, but I don't want to extend this no longer than I have to. Looks like it's holding their speed. See me double checking my slats there. We'll go ahead and throw those down.
Slats extended.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
Not yet. Okay, arm our localizer mode real quick. And shallow out that intercept. Alright, select the localizer. Got the localizer there. She can start her turn. Now we'll go ahead and walk it down to 180. And we'll arm our ILS mode. And slow it down to 170.
Landing gear.
Flaps 15.
Swing for that glide slope intercept, and we'll bring the gear down at that point. Lasso capture, gear down.
Gear down, 3 green.
2,500.
I love that she slows right down. Flaps 28.
Stabilizer motion.
Flaps 28.
I was like on. Yeah, we'll put a bumper. Medium. Wing view. Right now, see, around 40. That's bouncing about between 40 and 50 frames a second. Too bad. Now this, on the other hand, we're looking about Bit of a dip there, 17, 20, 28. I don't know. I'll go ahead and take control. I don't know if I'm having any elevation issues with Orbix or not. That was a little bumpy.
200. 100.
Need to try to hit those markers.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Come on, come on.
Two in reverse. Reverse lights out.
That is a new sound. Must be coming from the airport. Okay. Let's see, we'll go ahead and cross 1A right here. Right now I'm seeing around about 25, around that area. Make this turn. Yeah, I think we're hitting airport lights. I was like, is that flat or something? And we'll go ahead and let's get that master caution out of the way. Oh, do I need to turn here? Yeah, I do. Yep, I do. And let's just catch the first one we see. Or the first one we can get to at least. Okay, ND80's up there, so... Okay. Go ahead and turn those hydraulics off. Beacon light off. And let's see.
Yes, sir. Connect the GPU, please. Stand by. GPU connected. Yes, sir. Connect the low pressure air, please. Stand by.
This guy off, this guy off there.
Okay, here comes pressure.
Alright, cool. So we can go ahead and turn all this off. That's off, that's off. And you off. Let's see, did this even work? You need to... Alright, so... There's my brake. Alright, activate ground services. Operate jet wings, American. Jet wings will not animate. So does some of them animate, not all of them, or what? That's weird. Or nevertheless, we're here. Ish, there we go. Yeah, we're here. As far as frame rates go, so right now we're at about like 30 or 40. Just depends. It really depends. It's kind of looks on average about 30, so we'll call it that. Well, cool. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Just want to take time and holler at you guys and try to push this video card some more, see what she does. But other than that, appreciate you guys swinging by. I know it's kind of a long stream, so appreciate you guys who poked your heads in or whatever. And other than that, you guys have an awesome Sunday. Have a good Sunday and relax. I mean, not Sunday. Yeah, I wish it was. No, don't. But anyway, you guys have an awesome Saturday. And yes, guys, make sure you take care of yourselves and each other. And we'll see you later.